Today we're going to talk about generations and hopefully demystify some of the challenges that you're having with identifying what generation a person is in your downline. Now, I'll start out by saying Oily Tools calculates your generations in real time each day, so you can always look at the downline viewer in Oily Tools or in any report, and it'll tell you what generation a person is. But for those of you who don't currently have Oily Tools or still want to understand how generations work, because they're pretty important when it comes to our commission structure and our bonus structure, we've got this simple graphic we're going to walk through and hopefully resolve some of the concerns and confusion that you may have. So we start out at the top of our downline tree with you. You're considered generation 1. Another term that Young Living uses is your personal generation. Now, everyone is in your personal generation up till you hit the first silver or above in your downline. So if you look at this level 1, we've got a senior star, a silver, and an executive. The senior star and the executive are both still considered generation 1 because neither one of those are ranked silver or above. But we've got a silver in our immediate level 1, and that person begins a generation. They start their own generation, and they'll be called generation 2. In the third level, under the senior star, you have a star. Well, because that person is not yet a silver or above, they are also considered generation 1. We go over to the next down line where we had that silver who started generation 2, and under them we have a senior star and a silver. The senior star is classified as generation 2 because they are continuing in that silver's downline and have not yet achieved a rank of silver or above. But then we have that silver. That new silver with the G3 on it is the start of generation 3 for you. And if you think about it, it's technically generation 2 for the silver in their upline, that first silver. We move over to the third downline where we have an executive, which is generation 1, which means the executive under them is also generation 1, and the silver under them starts a new generation, generation 2. Now we're going to look at your generation leadership bonus as it pertains to that same downline we just looked at. I've modified the graphic so that we're not looking at what generation each person is, but at how many shares you're eligible for based on the rank that you have, the rank of the people in your downline, and what generation they are in. As a silver, you earn on your personal generation as well as 2 additional generations. So in total, you'll earn on 3 generations. If you look at the graph, yourself, you'll receive 1 share. You'll receive 1 share for the silver in that level 1, and you'll receive 1 share for each of those silvers in your level 2. Now, levels again don't have anything to do with generations, but I'm using that term so you can just kind of follow along with the graphic. As you can tell, I've modified the graphic again, so I've now made you gold. So congratulations, you just got gold. Now, when you earn gold, you actually earn 2 shares for yourself. You'll earn 1 share for each of the silvers in those generations. And if there were another gold somewhere in your paid generations, you'd also receive 2 shares for that individual as well. I've updated the graphic again where you're silver, but someone in your downline in your paid generations is actually a rank higher than you, in this case gold. Now, you might think that you should get 2 shares for that person that's gold, but based on the way the bonus structure works, you only can earn as many shares for someone in your generation as you can earn for yourself. Because you're silver in this case, you're only going to earn 1 share for you and 1 share for that gold. You're not going to earn 2 shares for that gold in your level 1. I've updated the graphic one more time so that we can look at the commission percentage that you earn for each of these generations. Because you're silver, you earn on 3 total generations. Again, the first being called generation 1, or sometimes also called your personal generation. On your personal generation, you earn 2.5%. If you notice, all the people that were in your generation 1 here have the 2.5 beside them. What we would do is we would add up the PV of all of the people in your personal generation, and we would either use 100% of the PV, or if they were in their first 3 calendar months, we would use 30% of their PV. We take that total PV amount, multiply it by the 2.5%, and that is your personal generation commission. Now, because you're silver, you earn on generation 2 and generation 3, and both of those earn the same percentage of 3%. And what we do is we take each of those generations, We add up all the PV for everyone in their downline up till the next generation. So for an example, on that level 1 executive that is a 2.5, and then you go down into their executive, which is a 2.5, which is a part of generation 1. When we hit the silver, that's the generation 3, we would pull their whole downline up until their first generation, add up the PV where we either use 100% or 30% based on the activation date. Now, as you can tell, this gets really complicated very quickly. You can try to manage this early in your business, but as the business grows, this becomes really difficult to do. And this is where Oily Tools really shines, because we do this every day for you based on the downline data that we get from Young Living. That's going to wrap up us talking about generations today, and hopefully this has helped to kind of remove some of the confusion on what generations are, how you determine them, and how you actually get paid on them. Don't forget to check us out at oilytools.com and visit our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/oilytools.